Africa is becoming more populous and richer. It has experienced unprecedented and uninterrupted economic growth for the past 3 decades. But if African countries are to become economically successful, their governments will have to implement adequate policies which contribute to the expansion of the private sector, job creation, and an increase in the productivity levels. Corruption must be dealt with in Africa. Unemployment, mainly among the youth, is another challenge facing African leaders. These and many more issues that hinders our growth will be discussed on the banner and provide the why, how, and what to accelerate the continent's dream of economic freedom. Watch on the banner every Saturday. It's going to be hot, heated, but focused. Africa's future success will depend on stability, sound policies, and solid institutions. Don't miss this. Welcome to another exciting edition of On the Banner. My name is Shalom Gono, Controversial X, always bringing you the controversial angles to the issues. Sometimes I need to extinguish them, though, like I've always said, I need a fire extinguisher by my side at times. But that is the nature of the program, On the Banner. Like we always do between the hours of 3 and 5 each Saturday, a replay between the hours of 2 and 4. Very conversational and very simple so that you can also be part of it and interact, enjoy every little bit of it, very non-technical. I just have to acknowledge those who have made it possible for you to watch us wherever you are, via satellite, via YouTube. You can also find our programs on www.businesstvrafrica.com by clicking on watch. And on YouTube, just as a reminder, you can get us www.youtube.com/businesstvrafrica. I must also remind you that you need to rush to any GenBank and grab a copy of the first digital box, which offers you a variety of channels and mind-boggling programs. Of course, with this, I have someone in the house to discuss if actually this is going to be a reality, because there's been some, and I'll introduce the person. I don't want to take the wind out of your minds yet. It's still in your mind. June 2015, all television channels are migrating from free to air transmission to digital broadcast. What this implies is that every single television station will operate from a box, a digital box. This is why BT is entreating you, our cherished viewers, to get and secure yourself from the inconvenience that this migration may cause, and therefore obtain for yourself a first digital box from any GN outlet, GenBank, of course. First digital for the Ghanaian in you. I must also acknowledge GenBank, the People's Bank, GN Investments, Gold Coast Fund Management, and Coconut Grove Hotel, Memories Worth Repeating, where I have my studio located. Once again, I must welcome you all to the show, and do remind a friend that it is time for On the Banner, when you have the opportunity to interact and listen to the people that you ought to listen. One of the tests that really blew my mind a few weeks back was a gentleman said now he has the opportunity to view programs that are worth viewing because there's too much cacophony and unnecessary stuff on our TV waves. So here you are. I'll be right back, and then I'll introduce my guest. And I know, certainly for sure, you're going to call someone in the kitchen or out there that, hey, come. This gentleman is on TV. Let's listen to what he has. I'll be right back. Africa is becoming more populous and richer. It has experienced unprecedented and uninterrupted economic growth for the past 3 decades. But if African countries are to become economically successful, their governments will have to implement adequate policies which contribute to the expansion of the private sector, job creation, and an increase in the productivity levels. Corruption must be dealt with in Africa. Unemployment, mainly among the youth, is another challenge facing African leaders. These and many more issues that hinders our growth will be discussed on the banner and provide the why, how, and what to accelerate the continent's dream of economic freedom. Watch on the banner every Saturday. It's going to be hot, heated, but focused. Africa's future success will depend on stability, sound policies, and solid institutions. Don't miss this. Well, before I introduce my guest, I have to just give you a teaser. He's an MP from Asin North. I'm sure you've concluded. Yeah, Asin Central. I'm sure with just the mention of Asin, because his name dominates Asin. So sometimes the cardinal points even doesn't matter. When you mention Asin, the rest is added. So already you have introduced the person to yourself. On our screens today, we have Honorable Kennedy Ohene Agyapong. Do I do you use it quite often? I hear people use it. Yes. He prefers to be Ken. He prefers to be Ken, and everybody calls him Ken. I mean, it's surprising. He just drove in. The light, you know the way I do this program, the light part of it is someone saw him in the parking lot and just asked, oh, is he driving himself? I wonder what Ghanaians expect from big names. I mean, you always want that kind of traditional, carry them in palanquin. But no, it isn't everybody who wants that. No wonder sometimes when politicians are bullying us and we say they are arrogant, our expectations from people like us are too high. So I'm humbled to have people who are humble like him. Honorable, welcome. Busy schedule, but you've made it up at last. Since morning, we had to have a meeting in the morning. It wasn't possible. You had to go round, meetings here and there. Thanks for honoring the invitation.
You're welcome.
To start with, recently you had a demonstration, your party. I call it the Dumso demonstration. Were you part of it?
Yes.
You went for you were part of the whole thing?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't have time to view it in fully, so I needed to find out. Were your expectations met?
More than.
When you say more than, what does it mean?
What I expected, I knew there were a lot of people going to attend.
Yeah.
But the crowd I saw was overwhelming. In actual fact, I started my work from multimedia. Okay. I went for 2 programs, Adom TV and Adom FM. So when I look at my time, I realized time was running. Yeah. And as soon as I crossed the traffic, the Sadisco traffic, I met the traffic right there, heavy traffic. So I got out of the car and asked a gentleman who was going with me to drive it. So I walked to Brasport. Yeah. And when I got there, they had just made a move. Okay. So I joined it. And when we entered the main circle of PTC, I mean, John Bodu came back to tell us that, look, the crowd is way up to Kingsway. All right. And I was shocked. Wherever we got to, people were standing on the porch, some in the windows, waving.
I viewed that on telly.
I mean, it was overwhelming.
The question is that you made it more party stuff than a national thing, because this really affected everybody. And I hear that even some NDC supporters, joining it just, to as a sign of nationalism or, seeking our welfare, the general good of Ghana. But the adverts, the public relations aspect of it was just only like mere MPP, so they saw it as more of a political campaign to whip up some kind of sentiments or sympathy for your party than the main issue at stake. What do you make of such a statement?
What is the issue at stake? Yeah. I mean, were we wearing party colors? No, it was red and black. Okay. I was wearing black with a small red, I like the bubus, the African prints and all those things. Well, if indeed we had members from NDC joining us, well, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, because they are all suffering. Yeah. Most of them are suffering just like us. We did not politicize, but since we are the initiators, we wanted the whole country to know that MPP has taken bold steps to demonstrate against whatever wrongs going on in the country. Last week, Monday, I went to EcoBank at ANC Mall, and when I got out, walking towards my car, a gentleman stopped me, Ken. I stopped, and he said 2 things to me. He said, look, MPP is the weakest opposition I've ever come across.
You always lambasting your party. I know
That is sarcasm. No, that's the statement. The guy just said, MPP is the weakest opposition I've ever come across. Then I asked him why. So with all the things going on,
okay,
we cannot do anything. What is Nana Addo doing? Tell him to lead a demonstration.
Okay.
Then two, he said, I'm also very, very disappointed in students of this country.
Okay.
Do we have students in this country? And he referred me to their days in the university.
Yeah, Achampong
what they
times,
did to Achampong and the rest.
Because it's
and I also explained to him that these days, the political leaders, the student leaders have now become politicians.
Sure.
And politicians actually go out there when they are having their elections to make sure that their party people become the leaders of it. And of course, if you succeed like that, it makes it difficult for these same executives who are supporting the government to demonstrate.
You are raising a very serious issue here, and I've been thinking about it. I need a whole program for this issue you raised about the politicization of
I will grant you another time.
Yes, it's a crucial thing. It's damn crucial.
You know, because their last election, you had ministers going to stay on campus just to influence. A situation like that, you find it difficult to get students mobilizing and demonstrating against the government for the government to sit up.
Yeah.
So it's a problem. So that evening, I booked an appointment and went to Nana. Said, look, Nana, things are getting out of hand.
Yeah.
And this is a message that was given to me. And I think I have to carry that. So you need to lead a demonstration.
Yeah.
And a week later, the General Secretary announced that on the 18th, they're going to have a demonstration. Okay. I said, good. I was supposed to travel. I said, I'll wait. And to be surprised, I'll be honest with you, this is my first time. All these years.
Joining a demonstration?
Yes, this is my first time. I always say I'm busy this or doing one or two things. But this time, I decided to stop and go there. I woke up around 5, made sure I was at the station to grant their interviews for them, and still went ahead. You know, what is happening in this country, my brother, is pathetic. Okay. And when I look at young ladies and young men like that,
including myself, I'm not so
yeah,
old.
I pity, well, then I pity them. I ask myself, what is the future? With the current trend of governance in this country, the youth of this country, they have no future. Because whatever you see, whatever decision this government takes, is only to serve a group of people. And any leader who wants to be a good leader must not be seen serving a group of people.
Is it a reality or a perception?
No, it's a reality. It's a reality. Anything you see this government doing is just serving a group of people. But he is obliged to serve the entire country.
Yeah.
Okay? And what are these groups that we're talking of? It is only the hierarchy of even his own party. It doesn't even get to the bottom.
And your party was also criticized with similar things, that it was only for the elderly, not the youth.
Fine.
There was some agitation that it was too much of septuagenarians and elderly people and elite.
I agree. I don't have a problem with that when you take that step of perception.
Okay.
I mean, you have to be fair.
You've always been as
it tells you how politicians are.
Okay.
You know, they will tell you A when they want power, and when they get the power, they tell you B.
Interestingly, can you say we politicians are?
Well, I'll agree, but I try to speak the truth.
Yeah.
Okay? But I wouldn't say I'm perfect and therefore accept we. Okay. We politicians go out there. We mouth on platitudes.
Yeah.
Okay? We mouth on platitudes. But when the reality dawns on us, you see us backtracking and all those things. And that is very disappointing. I personally believe that if I tell you, look, I'm going to do this, the mere fact that I've made you known that this is what I'm going to do, I'll stay focused.
You committed yourself.
Case closed. So the priority is, for instance, in 2008, when President Mills was campaigning, said Dumsor will be the thing of the past. Because under MPP, we face similar problems.
Okay.
But not, the magnitude this time is way higher or above what we experienced in 2007.
The intensity, that is true.
Right. So if Ghanaians decide to vote for you, based on your promises that Dumsor will be the thing of the past, and this is their 7th year.
Okay.
Okay? Dumsor will be the thing of the past. But today, what do we see? Dumsor has worsened. And businesses are collapsing. Businesses are folding. People are losing, say, their gadgets are getting collapsed, whatever. I don't know the words to use for it.
It's even causing houses to burn because people forget themselves and leave appliances
Yeah.
home. Most of the fire.
Unfortunately for us, a gentleman who died with a wife,
Yeah.
with that generator, is from my constituency.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I comfort. You know, so with what is going on in this country, my brother, we cannot sit down unconcerned. I think I subscribe to what the gentleman described my party as the weakest opposition.
So what you did yesterday was justified.
The first one, they are yet to face whatever if they don't act. And you know, I'm sorry to say this, I'm surprised that police, before I got here, my guys called me that the police invited them, and when they went, they are threatening to take them to court because they did not take the route.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they have two court orders. One describing where they should go, and the other, you know. So when I got to Tema Station, I was confused. I didn't really know where to go.
Okay.
And the standby, you know, those who were standing by told us that, look, Esla and the rest, they went straight to the ministry. Surprisingly, there were police officers there.
Okay.
So I'm surprised they are saying that they did not follow instructions. And first of all, look how peaceful it was yesterday. I mean, wherever we got to and people are selling their water, we asked for the price, we paid, look, go ahead and take it. Nobody damaged any property or anything. It was peaceful. So why would the police drag these things?
The laws are laws, no matter how peaceful it is. And isn't it a good precedent? Because one day there's a likelihood your party will be in governance, and therefore if there are laws, then people should...
And what is the precedence when we have two letters?
Okay.
What's the precedence then that you have to say? Okay. And don't forget, let me tell you, if you know the Bible well, it said when Jesus Christ was asked about the fruits he plucked on Saturday or so, because
the Sabbath day.
It was a Sabbath day.
Yeah.
His response, they were just testing him if he abides by the law. He said to them, the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Okay, so even laws, when you realize the atmosphere is conducive and peaceful, you don't go by your laws to rather go and create chaos. Because I hear one of the gentlemen told them that, look, if you take these guys to court, what will happen in this country will be worse than when Kennedy Japan was arrested. That's what they told him. That if you like, take them to court. You see, so I don't know.
But I think we should allow the processes.
Well, fine.
Yeah, for good governance.
We don't have a problem.
Yes, because, I mean, once you have a good case, because to every rule there's an exception. And sometimes some human face is given to law. So let the law, let's see how it goes.
We don't have a problem.
Yes, that's what I'm hoping.
I don't think you ever find, massive demonstration like that being so peaceful without,
It also shows that we are becoming politically enlightened.
No. We have two sets of people here. One believes in radicalism. One believes in peace. Okay?
And which one believes?
I'm telling you, if NDC had gone on the street with this kind of crowd, definitely they were going to create confusion all about stealing. Because even what the law, even what the law prescribes that do A, they still steal and do B. How much more?
You are just generalizing issues.
No, I'm telling you,
generalizing issues.
You see, I don't want to be quoting, but I have a lot of facts to give you here. On this, just
I know the way. Yes, I know.
Okay, so I wouldn't lie, but we
are sanitizing politics. So
we believe in peace.
Let's hope what you're saying is the reality. It's a challenge to the MPP. I like provoking the issues. So what you said is just a challenge that in future we'll see what happens when NDC also goes on a demonstration.
Right.
It will be as peaceful as this. I will see politics
then
evolve to a certain level.
Say thanks to God.
They are also creatures of God.
Well, so we pray.
You don't have to be so pessimistic. But talking about the energy issue, we gradually come into the economic dimension. A lot have been said, analysts and pundits, some in various quarters, that it is not the fault of any government per se, but it's the fault of a nation. We lacking planning and foresight and even vision in the things we're doing. We're not taking the growth of population, industry, nothing into consideration in any facet of our lives, from education, health, whatever, to the extent that we have people sitting on ground to write, sleeping on floors in the hospitals, etc. So as a country, you cannot shelve this blame on anybody's, shelf or home that he is solely, but it depends on the way we go about it. So it looks like we are not being realistic with ourselves, and therefore the demonstration was not called for, but rather you could have preferred some solutions or alternatives. What do you make of such a statement? You laughed at me.
Yes, I laugh. I don't want to use the words I used to describe them yesterday.
I hope you tone down.
Yeah. So
I know how gentle you can be.
It's a stupid argument. Stupid argument.
If somebody makes that argument.
Yeah.
It's a collective problem, it's not.
No. When they say that we don't give solutions, not whatever they said about problems, they were problems or what.
Yeah.
But that particular statement that we criticize and we don't give solutions, and I'm saying
alternatives.
Yeah, alternatives. It's stupid for them to say that. I'll give you one typical example. You see, you cannot have a bravest man like Greenstreet telling them like it is to their face.
I respect that gentleman.
Okay? He's won my admiration.
Yeah,
I don't know
like
what
them,
that day, telling them the truth, what people think, the perception,
right in front of
the perception of Ghanaians about NDC. And what did you see?
Insults,
calling him all sorts of names.
I felt bad about that.
Right. Are you telling me these people are people you should give alternatives? They listen. Now I'll give you the alternatives if they'll take it. You see, the problem we have in this country is that President Mahama and therefore NDC from day one, they have always appointed square pegs in round holes.
What does that mean?
Square pegs in a round hole. You see, we have this cup which is round. Then you want to put this phone. Have you been able to cover it? You see the loopholes?
Yeah.
The spaces. Okay? Yeah. So you need this round hole, you need a round top to cover it. So the square, they put the square pegs here in a round hole.
The portions left out.
Yes. That is precisely what is happening.
You're referring to human resource.
Meaning incompetent. Yeah, they have a lot of incompetent ministers, incompetent party faithfuls, incompetent managing directors, incompetent directors, incompetent workers.
You are the people who are giving this vocabulary to the younger people in NDC to tell engineers at VRA that they are incompetent. Maybe they are copying you.
They are copying me. They are copying themselves. They have now realized that, look, VRA is not competent. They have now realized. And if VRA is not competent, simply put, it means President Mahama is not competent. Because if you are competent, you are the number one man in the country who has gone to Ghanaians, sought their mandate to rule us and promise that you deliver. So it's simple. If you find the person incompetent, you get him out and put somebody there. What have they done? What is happening to President Mahama's administration is that when I go out there and insult Shalom, wow, he is a good guy, we have to appoint him as a minister. When I go there and steal government money, oh yes, they raise you, they put you at Flagstaff House.
You know how to bring money to the party.
Good. Then what happens?
But that cuts across. Every party
I disagree with you. President Kufuor will not cherish you for stealing. President Kufuor will not honor you for stealing. President Kufuor will not honor you for insulting. And I can use myself as an example. You know, I went there to lobby for a gentleman.
Okay.
And every person that I've given the name to President Kufuor, he honored it. That one, I have to give it to you. You know, but that particular person, President said, okay, do you think this guy will be submissive and do the right thing? I don't like the way he comments on certain issues.
To conduct himself in the public.
Yeah, so he's sorry. And I have to accept that because almost everybody I lobbied to get a position that mandated the president. So with this particular person, this is what he said. It means he assesses everybody. He will not just give you the position.
He has time to
right. But what do we see today? You know, I'm building a case.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay? I'm building a case. I will answer
it's a revelation.
Every question you've asked. So, in simple terms, I am saying that if the president is competent himself, he will find competent people to surround him. I'm sorry.
That's a provocative comment.
Well, too bad, because my business is collapsing. It has taken me so many years to build that business.
When people come into governance and we have obsolete machines, plants all over the country, is it an overnight thing? Things that have not been done. If it could be done, it would have been done under maybe a previous administration, which is even tagged as more business-like.
You see, let me tell you, don't be pretentious journalist. You know the situation, but you pretending and playing the advocates.
I don't know, that is what
Look, let me tell you. I listened to Kofi Adams, responding to this demonstration by saying that President Rawlings created an environment for MPP to generate power and what. What did Rawlings do in 19 years, apart from killing people?
He extended electricity, built steel bridges.
But if you extend electricity
all over
and you don't generate power, that is your earlier statement. Why people, leaders who lack vision, will not foresee that in the next 10 years the population will grow at this percentage, and therefore we need, if we are 14 million today, in the next 10 years we do a projection that 2,000 kilowatts, we need about 3,000.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't have foresight and only build emptiness around you and collapse people's industries, then you come and tell me that you did what? And I, Kenneth Japan, sitting here, I'll give them credit because they did the feasibility studies for Buida, but they could not execute it because they didn't have the credibility to go out there and source for that amount of money. I took the challenge. The feasibility studies were done by NDC. We polished it, took it to China. That's how come we got the money for Buida.
There's nothing wrong with it. Governance is
I'm giving you an example. He said we have not done anything.
Yes,
and I'm telling you, yes. From Nkrumah's time that we had the drawing board for Buida, nobody executed it.
It was before independence.
Good. Until we came to power and we got the money. Unfortunately, we lost.
Yeah.
We cut the sword and everything for you. Now the point is, if you put a Siedun Ketia or you appoint him as a board chairman, what do you expect to get from Buida? Oh, please give me a break. Don't even answer that. And see, I don't get here a man who doesn't know that this winter jacket that he's wearing is for his wife. Excuse me, give me a break here. This is where we have a problem.
He knew it was for his wife.
He knew it was
He
for his
wanted
wife.
to save Ghana's money, and
that
therefore,
is
instead of buying a fresh one,
you see,
we could wear a jacket. A jacket is a jacket.
I know.
Only just once.
No. It tells you the kind of person you are dealing with and his opinion and perception about life. He has no taste. The man goes out there as a board chairman, creates a company for himself to supply blogs. Why don't you want us to speak the truth?
That one is true.
Good. So I'm telling you,
about the winter.
I can in Japan read my lips. We brought the company Sino Hydro. But I never got even one CD out of it. But I don't care. So long as we have power, I don't have a problem. But I have a pen drive if I bring it here and show you the shoddy job that these people have supervised.
Why did you do that at the beginning of the project?
Who didn't do
Because
what?
you are one of the most outspoken and
No,
forthright
who
people.
didn't do what?
Let the media take it, pictures, this, that, this are obsolete.
I think you don't understand.
Maybe you
We
can
got
clarify.
the money.
Yeah.
We cut the sword.
Yeah.
Okay? We lost power. We handed over to NDC.
Yes.
NDC is supposed to supervise
Yeah.
and make sure we have value for money,
Yeah.
which they refuse to do. They put the deputy managing director for VRE, that is the vice president's brother, there at a most appointed
Cadman. Is it
no,
Cadman? Okay.
that gentleman for the vice president. At that time, the vice president was a governor.
Okay.
Then he appointed Esiedun Ketia as a board chairman. Teacher from Sekwa. What does he know?
Please withdraw the teacher because I'm a teacher too.
As a teacher from Sekwa.
I'm a teacher too.
And you're a teacher from Accra. So what's your problem?
What is the difference between Sekwa? You are an MP of Asin.
I have lived.
Asin is not Accra.
Listen to me. I have lived in America since 1983. And I know what time it is. I got taste. You can't take that from me. I'm exposed. If you give me 2 hours, you see the things I'll tell you how to move this country.
I'm worried about the Accra teacher and the Sekwa teacher.
Well, I've told you.
We'll talk about it later.
No. Let's address the issue. You are a teacher in Accra. You are never the same in terms of perception and vision with the teacher who has stayed in my village at Asin Dumping all his life.
It's not his fault.
No, I'm not saying it's his fault. But when it comes to decision making, because of your exposure in Accra,
Okay.
there are certain things you can put on the table that a teacher from my place can't do it.
I mean,
that is why I use the word a teacher from Sekwa. That's the difference. So if you're a teacher, I was taught by a teacher. But I can tell you, what I know, my teacher who taught me doesn't know.
Today.
Because
of exposure.
Precisely. That is all we're talking about.
So, what I mean, he's a kind of square peg in a round hole.
Precisely. You are now coming on board. You know, it looks as if you are afraid. No, just cheer up.
You keep telling me this all the time. I'm a moderator.
Well, just cheer up.
I should know what I want. I have an objective for the program.
And let me come up with the facts.
I should be telling Ghanaians. You are
yeah, I'm telling Ghanaians.
I'm a moderator.
But you
I'm afraid.
You're shivering. Well, when I mention names, then you
Excuse me, audience out there, I hope I'm not shivering. Kent likes telling me this all the time. You're afraid. I think one of these days, producer, give me a canvas here. I want a canvas around my neck like a farmer. People know me.
I'm just giving you.
Anyway, on the light,
I'm analyzing the situation
okay,
to you that if you give a position, a board chairman to a Esiedun Ketia, that's the result you get. Because they are now telling me that Buidam functions only 6 hours. Okay? 6 hours.
Because there's no water.
Right. And I'll bring you the pen drive. Just put it in your computer and see. A guy who was working there and his complaints. He's saying that the turbines, when you put oil in, it leaks. Because when they were laying the pipes and cables, they were broken ones that they should have completely
discarded.
Yeah, rejected it. But these guys joined it. So there's leakage. I asked the gentleman, so with this leakage, what are we going to do? So you have to break the whole thing and start again because it's buried underground. You know, truth must be told once and for all. We brought the Chinese company here, but I will not allow them to cheat my country.
Never.
Because the $622 million will be paid by myself, my grandchildren, my son, or my children and grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren. So we should get the right thing done for us.
For money.
Okay? So if we bring the money or bring the people, the responsibility of a Siedun Ketia as a board chairman and the vice president, brother Atta, was to supervise and make sure they do the right thing. So how can you then come and tell us that we do not add anything? We did the retrofit at Akosombo and added about 100 kilowatts. What are they talking about? You see, when we have issues like this, it's a national thing that we devoid of politics and speak the truth. But the moment you take an angle like that, nobody is going to sit down for you to lie. Okay? We have a problem. They want alternatives. They should listen. First of all, I've said it over and over again that sugarcane, we can use sugarcane to generate electricity.
Yeah.
I have been to India, Kulapu. Kulapu in India is an area where they grow the sugarcane.
Okay.
We have a lot of sugar plants. When they extract and get their sugar, the second thing they get out of the sugar is molasses.
Yeah.
Then they do alcohol. They go about another a mile away and set up alcohol industry over there. The byproducts of that alcohol gives them sawdust for chipboards and plywood. After the plywood, the last byproduct they use to generate power for the plant itself. And whatever left over they have, they sell to the national grid. I have told them a million times, you can use sugarcane. You see, when we talk of exposure, it is not just sitting in this room and you think that's it. You need to travel and see. We went to Thailand. Thailand, the chiefs of this country should listen. When they receive land cruisers at the expense of their people, their subjects. We went to Thailand, the king's house. Everything that he eats is produced organic from there. Milk, when you see the sophisticated machines for milk, everything, Thailand, the king, produces it from his own house. And he has a small school, technology, that they are always inventing something.
Researching and all that.
So they took us to another village. Cassava. Cassava they produce cassava and use it for about 30 different products. And after the 30 different products, what is left? They generate power. So all like Bodriasi, they will never throw anything away. Yeah, they will never throw anything away. That is
we are wasting
Thailand.
a lot.
Yes. Let us go to Holland. You see, from Aflao to Nzema,
Okay.
the coastal belt. That is where we have to put the windmills. And my brother, when you go to Holland, where they have almost all the farms have windmills, they generate the electricity or the power from the windmill.
Yeah.
They build storage facilities for their potatoes. They use this wind energy to store potatoes for 8 months.
To aerate the potatoes.
Yes. Let's come to solar. As I speak today, what America is doing, especially in New York City, is that all the high rises, if you decide to go on solar, depending on the size of the property, the government goes from 20% to 75% subsidy. Just to get you off the national grid, they call it Con Edison.
Okay.
Okay? All these things are there. Let me give you the last thing we did before, after the Bui Dam. We cited 13 rivers, points. In my constituency, there were 2 of them. River Pra, that's between Assin and Adanse, which is Ashanti and Central. We're going to dam it to generate power, to supply Assin and Adanse area. When you do that, you take Adanse and Assin from the national grid. Okay? Again, in my constituency, we have area called Assin Ewusem, where the estuary of Ofin and Pra, okay, where they meet. Yeah. I paid that time 300 million to construct the road from Assin Ewusem to the estuary, because that was the condition before we will qualify for them to build the mini dam. So there were 13 rivers that we were going to dam. We call it mini dams, just to get all these districts off the national grid. You see, MPP is a party with vision and have all these things. I'm going to bring these guys, they have not worked before, and all they understand as deputy ministers is to steal. When we have a Vice-Free Ankara who was begging me for 400 Ghana cedis, can buy $2.4 million home, 4 of them, 600,000 times 4 at East Legon, just by my place. How? When in 2007, he asked me for money, and 2009, when he became a deputy minister in 6 months, could pay for $2.4 million. We got a problem.
Can I go for just a break? When I come back, that problem is going to be solved.
Africa is becoming more populous and richer. It has experienced unprecedented and uninterrupted economic growth for the past 3 decades. But if African countries are to become economically successful, their governments will have to implement adequate policies which contribute to the expansion of the private sector, job creation, and an increase in the productivity levels. Corruption must be dealt with in Africa. Unemployment, mainly among the youth, is another challenge facing African leaders. These and many more issues that hinders our growth will be discussed on the banner and provide the why, how, and what to accelerate the continent's dream of economic freedom. Watch on the banner every Saturday. It's going to be hot, heated, but focused. Africa's future success will depend on stability, sound policies, and solid institutions. Don't miss this.
Hi, I'm Emmanuel Abouajiriafi.
Anna Maria Nyam.
Charles Ayotte.
Salut, je m'appelle Atina Maran Koulibaly.
We mean business, we talk business, and we follow business issues internationally and locally.
You may want to join me for in-depth business report,
For in-depth business analysis and investigative business stories, join me live on BTA.
on all business angles relating to your business.
Watch Business Stories live on BTA with me, Anna Maria Nyame, at 7 p.m.
On the Business Stories.
Every 7 p.m.
Je vous invite à suivre la nouvelle d'affaires en français sur BTA du lundi au vendredi à 19h.
We've got your business.
Welcome back. Having a very hearty discussion, very conversational, like I always do, very simple, non-technical, so everybody can appreciate what goes on here on minds, suggestions, and whatever. So you can just keep your WhatsApp messages coming so I can read them on air as we go ahead with the discussion. Well, still in a discussion with Honorable Kennedy Agyapong. I prefer to call him Ken. I mean, it's simple, and he responds, to it. Ken, a lot has been said about solutions and all that. The situation we find ourselves, the good government of today has promised, and I've had the opportunity of interacting with the Director of Communications, Edward Bauer, on my program. In fact, he explained a lot of things that even politicians are not talking about. What they have, maybe we need a replay of that if there's a popular demand. Detail that politicians did not even talk about. And I told him the communication system in these countries we've got, Ghanaians must know. And I think based on that, if I understood him clearly, it is the reason for the Minister of Energy coming out to say by the end of this year, the problem will be one of the past. What do you make of the statement?
You know, let me finish the alternatives.
Okay.
You see, with these badges that they are bringing,
Yeah.
they are all temporal.
The one from Turkey?
Yeah.
One?
You know, VRA is complaining that they don't have money.
Okay.
Why have they loaned 400 million to Azugri? Why? Monies for them to generate power. They've given it as a loan to Azugri. What's the reason? There's another company, it was Senate or something, another 400 million. Those two loans alone gives you 800 million. And we are suffering. Now the question is, the money given to Azugri, 400 million, why isn't he giving us power? Where is the money? When we are talking of facts, giving you, the real picture, and most presenters, don't go there in it. But I'm telling you the gospel truth.
I don't say don't go there.
But you get panic when I mention names.
I need a panic meter here to see how, timid I am.
My brother, it's pathetic. VRA, how are we going to get there?
They're owning a lot of banks already.
Yes.
Almost on the verge of collapsing.
But they have given loans to Azugri and the rest.
I'll check on this.
Please do.
And the reasons.
Please do. And come back.
Responses, I'll let you come back to respond.
Yes, and come back. Okay? We are not being fair to ourselves. That is the problem. There is the whole world. Fuel prices have gone down. And Ghana, we are still paying high price for fuel. Why? I'll give you the secret today. GNPC, when oil prices on the world market was dropping, they rather imported 250,000 tons of finished products. GNPC. Is that his core mandate? What is Tema Oil Refinery doing? Because Tema Oil Refinery will import crude oil, okay, and process it for us to get byproduct, kerosene, and all those things. They will not do it. They will not do it. Distributors, about 100, if you have 100 companies, they are all for NDC.
And that's what politicians do.
Oil distributors, they have also imported their oil into this country. And because they are all for NDC, they are not prepared to reduce oil prices for them to lose.
Isn't it the fact that politicians always do business with the rest of us?
But if politicians always do business, is it the right thing? I'm telling you that the whole world, prices have gone down drastically. Because NDC people always import finished products into this country. They don't want to reduce it. Because they bought in stock. They had in stock a lot of them, plus GNPC 250,000 tons. So me and you, we should suffer. That is very unfair. When you go to SIC, you see, the managing director has been sacked. The two deputies also interdicted. How can a whole managing director, and I'm surprised at the woman, we always feel as for women, they take care of home, and therefore, if you give them any position, they will do the right thing. This woman has connived with 80 companies to defraud SIC. And Woyomi is one of those 80 companies.
Your friend, wait.
Yeah, going to take another money from SIC. And that amount that he's taking is more than the $35 million he swindled us through judgment debt. What do you then expect? And when we are demonstrating, you tell us, so what? So what? These are facts that when I tell you this, go out there and check that GNPC imported 250,000 tons. When prices were dropping, they could not forecast. You see, square pegs in a round hole again. I have promised, I told the finance minister and promised Ghanaians that look, if you think 2014 was tough, then tighten your belt because 2015 will be worse. When I read the budget, I had just come from America. I was sitting in my living room watching TV, and they were doing the projections and predicting in 2015 they will reduce fuel prices at this margin. So when I came and saw the minister's benchmark, $93 per barrel, I asked him, Minister, do you think these figures you have here are feasible? It is not. That time it was around 60.
Yeah.
And today is around 42. What are you going to do? Look at the difference. 93 and 42. $51 difference. It throws you off your budget.
Seriously.
Because you make projections that look, oil is going to give me 1 billion.
Yeah.
Today, if it is 51, I mean, the difference is 51.
Yeah.
We are selling it at 42. How much are you going to make? It is less than the 500,000.
That was unforeseen.
Yeah, about less than 500 million. Yeah. Unforeseen. If you have smart people, committed people, they will not come and lie. If they have the nation at heart, they will watch the world market, stocks, how the prices were going, and forecast. They thought they could deceive all parliamentarians. I went to him and said, Minister, I don't want to go on the floor of the house, but I want you to know that your figures are not feasible. Okay? So if we have these kind of people ruling this country, that is the result we find ourselves in.
We are still learning.
Excuse me, 57, how many years now?
We are still learning.
You are still learning. When we had independence, a year after your current president was born, you are now learning. Then you will learn. You have to learn.
Ken, as a businessman, when a minister tells you that at the end of the year,
bogus,
we stabilize
bogus. Until I see that, I'm sorry, I'll not even let you.
Plans are being brought
what
in.
Plans? What plans? What plans?
Refurbishments are being done.
When the president goes out there to cut a deal with Turkish people to bring a badge, when VRA is producing at 8 cents, between 8 cents and 13 cents per kilowatt hour, you go and negotiate a badge for 10 years. Is that an emergency? 10 years for 17 cents kilowatt per hour. Give us a break. And you know, that badge, the earliest we can get it is September. Because they are now instructing GNPC again to pay on behalf of ECG. I have the Attorney General's letter with me. Attorney General, I think 5th of January, instructing GNPC to pay on behalf of ECG. You see how they are collapsing every industry. They finish VRA, they are finished ECG, now they are finishing GNPC.
We are expecting the West Africa gas pipeline to be quite regular.
You see, you are here speaking good English. We are expecting the West Africa gas pipeline
I'm an Accra teacher.
To be regular. How long have they been telling us that it will be regular? They don't know their priorities. They don't set their priorities straight. They only come and, you know, I'm sorry, maybe you have to forgive me, but I give you direct attack. A highly educated teacher a presenter buying into their lies.
Go ahead. I'm all for it.
You know, so can you imagine?
I'm hopeful. Good. The president tells me I must be optimistic. As a national,
For 7 years.
Why not?
For 7 years.
There's a saying, patience does it.
Patient for 7 years. When you have a term for 4 years and 2 terms for 8 years, and this is your 7th year, I should still have hope.
Ghanaians have hope, and that is why he's there.
You see, Ghanaians do not have hope. We abide by a constitution. That is why he's there. But he's not there because we have hope. Get it straight.
Well, that is another angle to it. I hear you've spoken a lot about the effects of the energy sector on industry. But the challenges, Nigeria predominantly rely on energy generated from plants, etc., because NEPA is epileptic. Why is it that industry in Ghana is talking in, I mean, are you being spoon-fed? Are you the typical dada bells or whatever? Why are you talking so much? If your cold store is not doing well, go buy a plant. Nigerians are doing it. They are producing on large scale, bringing it to us. NEPA, honestly, does not exist. There's a generator in every Nigerian house. Why is industry? Why are you making so much
You see,
debate out of this?
I don't know. I'm sorry. Today, the way you're asking questions, you also seem ignorant.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, you seem ignorant because I have 8,000 tons cold store.
Yeah.
And I have 1,000 kVA generator. So what are you telling me? What are you telling me? My generator is there. What happens is that before I should have brought my bills, I showed it to BBC before coming here, and they were surprised. The woman just said, "Hey, then I'm not going to complain again." Look, they said last month. They came out that they're going to put up the lights for 48 hours for the industries. Okay? Before that, my monthly bill was 108,000 Ghana cedis. Now listen. The 48 hours sometimes runs into 60 hours.
Yeah, I know that.
If it is 24 hours, I pay 6,000 Ghana cedis diesel for the generator that we are talking of. So 2 days, I spent 12,000. Instead of turning off the lights at 6 a.m., they turn it off at 1 a.m. Have to spend extra 5,000 to get the generator running. So the cost for every week is 17,000. And still have intermittent lights off again. My brother. So what is happening now is that I spent 56,000 Ghana cedis on diesel. A month.
Wow.
Now, the bill that came for January was 99,237. Strike 108. Take the 99,237 from it. You have only about 8,600 and something.
Yeah.
Or 700 and something.
Around that.
Right. But I bought diesel 56,000. What kind of projections can you do? Tell me. What business forecast will anticipate that in 2009, the same consumption of power was 7,400 Ghana cedis. And today it's costing me 156,000. Yeah, you need to do that. You see, you are comparing us to Nigeria. If you want to compare a developing country like Ghana, please go up there. Don't compare us to criminals like us. In Nigeria, the people selling generators will just go and pay the NEPA people to put it off so they can buy. That is the system now they want to do here.
That is my fear, because I read it from Awake magazine many years ago, about 14 years ago.
Yeah.
That if Nigeria has regular power supply, certain generator companies in the world will collapse.
Good.
That was about 13 or 14 years ago when I was a radio morning show presenter.
So I know.
From the Awake magazine. I trust DJ Business magazine.
You know the truth, but you know, just to
No,
promote
but they are surviving. No, they are
I know,
surviving.
just to promote the debate.
No, you got it wrong. You got it wrong. But they are surviving.
Wine around it.
No, okay, they are surviving.
They are not. Nigeria is the worst place to do business. Let me tell you. They are not. Nigerians own a lot of businesses in this country now, because they are very comfortable. So they are also worried about what is happening here, that it might get to
a semblance of what happens there.
Right. Okay. So let us address issues. Don't let us politicize it. I'm not the only person. Okay, with all the filling stations that NDC people have opened or set up.
If they didn't set it up, you will come and open it.
No, I'm saying that. I'm saying me.
Not you.
I have a Shell filling station.
Your party.
Listen. I had a Shell filling station as far back as 1998. It is not a business that brings me. I mean, the kind of money I want to chop. It's not filling station. So when I see them building those stations, I laugh at them. So, they are stealing the money and they don't even know what to do with it. Because you are not going to make money. Look, from Cape Coast, Kasiwa to Cape Coast, you get over 159 filling stations.
Some of them are just 100 meters apart.
Right. So I ask, how many vehicles go through here for you to make your sales? But they are just covering up. Okay? The distributors and the oil marketing companies are just influencing people to go and open filling stations and they'll give them. But you're not going to make anything. You're not going to make anything. But let's address the issue itself. Now, I hear major players in this country, Coca-Cola, Cadbury, and all those things, are going to lay off some workers.
Farm milk, etc. here.
Right. Okay. So what happens to those workers that will be laid off? It's a concern. They might have family, wife and children. They need to go to school.
They pay taxes.
So
our tax
will go down.
Yeah, that is a vicious cycle.
Good.
So government revenue drops.
Precisely. So if we don't address the issue once and for all,
it's crucial.
They should stop referring to the past and let's deal with the immediate problems. You need short-term solutions, medium-term, and long-term.
A national approach.
Yes. So that we don't hear about do so again.
Very vital.
I will not politicize when it comes to this.
Okay.
Because successive governments have all failed in addressing the issue.
Relatively.
Yeah, relatively. Because some, this time, trust me, a lot of people are feeling it.
I would hope that before 2016, but the politicians always have the magic wand, the Midas touch at the last minute. So let's hope by the end of 2015, by 2016 January, this will be a thing of the past and the campaign will shift elsewhere.
Don't smile. Do you think we can survive from now till December? You are taking it easy. It is not simple, my brother. It is not simple at all.
And nothing can be done within the interim.
Good. So what will happen?
So we have to contend with the situation and hope for the best.
And hoping for the best, what happens to Ghana? That is my question.
We're in a quagmire. There's no way out. So we just have to make do with what we have. The little.
Listen, there is a way out. If NDC, they want alternative, they should stop stealing the money.
What has money got to do with power?
What has money got to do with power? Money is everything. Because when you have the money, you can go and buy a bike today and bring it for emergency power. So why are you asking?
We don't have money and
so I am saying that they should stop stealing the money.
IMF is coming in to assist us. So what is the money?
Please, you see, you should be ashamed of yourself. Mention IMF. You sit here, God has given you your own destiny to run your affairs. You mess it up, and now you're talking about IMF,
International
Monetary Fund. To do what?
Other countries deal with them.
And what I'm saying is, you see, when you mess up, today I was reading about Greece asking for more time to pay their loans or whatever. You see, the conditions of IMF will worsen the situation for you and me. Yeah.
The homegrown measures are already in tune with what the IMF's expectations are. They are happy with it. So
they are happy with it because they are comparing the current situation to the bailout. I ask you one question. Name one country that IMF bailed them out and they've succeeded. Name one.
If we learn our lessons well.
How are you going to learn your lessons well? You see, when you want to play the devil's advocate, then you change your tone. If we learn our lessons well, you know it. That black man will never learn. Because understanding of governance to a black man is to steal money and enrich himself or herself to take care of his family.
You're talking about so much corruption. We just recently read that politicians stash our monies in international banks in Switzerland.
We should go after them. We should go after them.
Do we have the capacity to do that?
Well, why not? Why not? We can go after them. We need to negotiate with their government.
How do politicians steal money? Tell me. You're a politician.
You should ask, how do public servants steal money before politicians?
Thanks for that correction.
Now, when you're talking about corruption, let me give you. You see, it did not start from today. It started from your home. It started from my home.
Yeah.
Example of starting from my home is that when you first get a job, the advice parents or relatives give us is that, oh, Ken, oh Shalom, thank God now you are going to work for former minister Pakwesi Indom.
When I was working for you.
Right.
You thought I should bring one of your Jaguars home.
Right. Okay. You see, psychologically, your salary could not even take care of your family.
That is true.
But now the extended family,
the pressure,
puts pressure on you to extend your hand to them. Indirectly, they are telling you to use foul means. Okay? Another culture of ours which is bad is that all the decent, honest people who sacrificed their life to work for this country and never stole money, when they went on pension, their relatives called them names.
That is true.
You stupid man, excuse my language on there.
No,
yes,
yeah.
You stupid man.
Stupid is stupid.
You were managing director for so many years, you could not even buy a block or a cement.
I agree.
And now we have to give you this.
I agree. Some of us are not on pension yet, but they call us names.
Good. Because
this person
of
is
that.
your friend, this person is your friend.
Yeah, because of that. And the uncertainty of our future.
Yeah.
Even hard-working people, when they go on pension, their salaries is nothing to write home about. So when they are holding any key position, they make sure they steal the money for a better future.
Some kind of insurance.
Good. So it starts from home. Then you get to the public servant or civil servants. Because their future is bleak, they always want to make sure that whatever position they hold
on tight.
Yeah, they make money out of it so that they can live. Okay? Then you come to the politicians. When you look at President Mohammed's appointments, there are some young men who just came out of college.
Is it wrong to appoint a young man?
Hold on, let me land. Young men who just came out of college became Minister of Education when their lecturers are even there. Okay? Now, you see that the problem we have in this country is that the moment you go into politics, you are tired. Okay? So if these young men, the party goes out of power, what happens to their future?
Okay.
So now they have to steal. These people are within 28 and 35. God gave us 70 years.
Yeah.
And some go more than that. Others don't. Others stay at 70. Let us take the 70. 70 years.
Yeah.
If you appoint a 30-year-old man or woman as a deputy minister, he has 40 years to live. He has within the 4 years to make enough money to sustain him for the 40 years. That how much money?
That's the calculation.
No, so how much money is he going to steal? How much? The guy has never bought a car before. Now he has to get himself a car. He got married. He has to get the wife a car. They're making babies. They have to take them to good school. They have to buy a house or build a house, and not just one, because they need to secure their future. So how much money would it be enough for them? That is the question.
And how do they get their hands on the taxpayers' money? Because this
Very
is
simple.
That's what I want to know.
Because the head is rotting, so the whole body is rotting. The head is rotting. You have all the executives, there's everybody understanding of becoming a minister is to steal. So what do you expect? The public servants, the trick they use on the ministers, I know, is that a minister is going on a trip. That is when all the deals they cut, they'll bring for the minister to sign. First of all, some of the ministers, before they became ministers, they had not even traveled before. When they travel economy. This time, the minister is traveling first class. He has a per diem. Okay? He's so excited. They wait till the last minute, the last hour. They bring a file on this. Ask your boss. He was once Minister of Energy. And he will tell you if I'm lying. Okay? So they push you to sign.
No,
you trust them.
No, okay.
No, but you trust them. You have to trust people. You're working with people. Not that I'm defending the ministers, but I'm telling you how they get themselves involved.
Entangled in all this web of
Right.
corruption.
Okay? These directors will just bring them, sign. Here, sign here. Your ticket is ready. The dollar, they put it in an envelope. You are excited. You are leaving. You have to catch a plane. And they'll be signing. When you finish signing, the contracts are going to their own people. Then the societal pressure on the minister and the party he belongs also makes them corrupt. Okay? They'll put pressure. Any genuine minister will not survive in the party because the word they use is you are wicked.
You don't let money flow.
Yeah, you are wicked.
You are unkind to party
Yes.
foot soldiers.
Yes. And they'll get you out. That is how come politicians also become thieves. The societal pressure on them. The future that is not secure for them. Hello, I don't want to mention it, but I can tell you. I'm not justifying why some ministers steal money or they have to steal. There's a former minister in our government that I think now he's sick.
Okay.
And he needed to buy. First of all, when I saw him, I said, look, minister, you have to go and check up all these. Oh, they say by 4 them. I said, well, please, don't even go. Don't even go there.
I know you don't believe in those things.
Yeah, please go to the hospital and stuff. Well, they said I'm going to pay 350 Ghana cedis.
So what's about money?
And minister, you mean you don't have 350 Ghana? I said, Ken, I don't have. I said, what? At the forecourt, I said, take this and just go and do the test. So I gave him 500 to go and do the test and bring it. After the test, he was asked to buy 2 medications. It did not even cost 1,000 Ghana cedis. And the man didn't have it. I swear to God. I said, wow.
He didn't have it because he didn't steal? Or he spent?
Well, maybe mismanagement. I wouldn't vouch for him.
Yeah.
There's nobody, not because he's an MPP, yeah. I will come and sit here and say he didn't steal.
Yeah.
No way. I will not vouch for anybody. Maybe he mismanaged his, or he did not steal.
Okay.
I cannot say anything about that.
Okay.
But with this, I was talking to the leadership of Parliament and said, look, you need to secure these people's future.
Okay.
If they have a security,
yeah,
that after serving this country, when we are sick, the state will take care of you.
Yeah.
I tell you, my brother, it will minimize the stealing. It gives them hope that after serving my country, if I'm sick, society, the system, the government,
take care.
Irrespective who is in government, I've served the nation.
In appreciation of what I did for
right.
the nation.
But with this situation, anybody who looks at that minister, if you're a minister,
you think twice.
Yeah, you think twice. I'm not justifying anybody.
So we lack systems.
Yes. We need to put systems in place.
Systems to ensure.
To ensure that people who serve the nation will benefit from whatever systems we put in place.
Okay.
If not, forget it. They will continue to steal. But with all this said and done, the rate at which they are stealing the money is too much. It's too much.
Is it possible that when we have a change of government, if these allegations are true, we can bring there's a system to really detect that monies have
listen, let me tell you, I'm an MPP guy, but I serve Ghana first. I don't care if you're MPP and you steal the money. I'll blow your cover.
You've done that before, I'm aware.
I'll blow your cover because we need to save the future of the youth. We cannot continue to do this. And I told Nana, I said, Nana, I don't want any position. I can sniff. I get a lot of information. And I'll report and tell you that, tell the person that I, Kenneth Agyapong, said that. I want him one-on-one. And you have to fire that person. And it's not only firing. Make sure they go to jail. Because
you've done that before. Your party has done that before.
Well, I'll continue to do it because posterity will judge all of us. And with all these monies, people who have stolen during Mills' time, about 4 of them that I know have died, and their relatives don't even know what to do with their properties and their assets. So why steal?
Because the pain of the people come as a curse on you.
You know?
The law of karma.
You know, so as for me, any change of government, I'll be a vigilante.
On that one, I'm sure many Ghanaians will pray for a long life for you.
Well, because it's about time.
But you can't fight it alone. You need a team.
Right. So we should all fight.
In our own small way.
Yeah. Let's fight and change.
Let's open our eyes. Yeah.
Okay. Because
we don't need to be violent, but we need to bring people to.
We need. We need to talk about. Look, you see.
What do you make of the legal system and the way we handle people who are alleged or be found?
The legal system is also porous. The judiciary is porous. When I read and said, I read about a man who has stolen a chicken or whatever, going to jail for 5 years, and Woyomi is still here. Woyomi is still here. How would I have confidence in the judiciary? Although they've done their part, the Attorney General is not doing anything about it because she one time represented Woyomi on the Waterville case, the current Attorney General. So how is he going to take the money? So we have a major problem at hand, dishonesty. The level of dishonesty in this country, the chronics coming together to milk this country. That is my problem. They have threatened to kill me. I will continue to say it until they kill me. I am not going to be scared of any human being in this country. So long as I see the future bleak for the young men and women.
I have strong intuition. So I think it will be the worst thing ever to happen. Because, I don't know, but I think a word to whatever, it's enough. So I'll leave it like that. But those are just, I hope that, they don't realize their dreams because a lot of Ghanaians want more of your kind. Let's look at the dollar cedi. In recent times, there's been a lot of stability.
You call that stability? You see, in 2013, 22nd December, a job that I did for the Ministry of Energy in 2008, They refused to pay that money until December 22nd, 2013. They paid $11 million, $150,000 to me. When it landed in the account, from Bank of Ghana to my account, the commercial bank account, like it's a Greek bank, the exchange rates, I lost $1.6 million. Because they changed it at 2 cedis to $1. When I was transferring some money to my partners in China, Zenith Bank transferred it at 2 cedis, 38 pesos. Now, we hit the 2014, and gee, what did we see? The money kept dropping.
Yeah.
And how can you tell me that the currency has stabilized when within 6 months the cedi depreciated about 35%? Where am I going to get that money that I've lost for? Anyway, for your information, today I sold dollars to Fidelity Bank, and they bought it at 3 cedis 40 pesos.
Started climbing.
Good. Today, right now,
before ended the first quarter yet.
Yeah, before I got here, I sold $40,000 to Fidelity Bank just to sort out bills. Okay, and they gladly changed it for me at 3 cedis 40 pesos. So if I had taken the dollar out and given it to Forex Bureau, how much could I make? Do you call that stability? We have a problem.
We've not ended the first quarter.
Yes.
We ought to go somewhere. I thank you very much for the time and sharing and the revelations and all that. Your very simple language, making us understand what really goes on as an entrepreneur, as a politician, someone who is a nationalist and an anti-corruption soldier. Just a minute of your time. Please look into this camera and maybe tell Ghanaians what to brace themselves for. What are your expectations?
Well, I don't want to sound so negative, but I have to speak the truth so that everybody will plan accordingly. I strongly believe that 2015 will be worse than 2014. Because, first of all, when you look at the budget, whatever figures they have out there, because the minister set the benchmark of our crude oil at $93 and now is $42, we've lost a margin of $51 per barrel. It tells you that the government estimate of $1 billion will not be realized. He's going to get about 350. He promised to use $580 million in infrastructure. Today, he cannot get that money for infrastructure. When you encounter a problem like this, it triggers other areas. Yeah. So it's going to be difficult. And with these light-offs, Ghanaians should embrace themselves and pray that, I don't know the situation, how God will come in and help us. But all is not lost. I believe when we stay focused and we commit ourselves and dedicated ourselves and be truthful to ourselves, we'll be able to make difference. But the rate at which Ghanaians are so dishonest to ourselves, to their fellow brothers and sisters, is going to be tough. Until we realize that, look, you will definitely die one day. But if you do the right thing, your name will live. And all those who will do bad things to the nation, they will die and they will never be remembered.
Well, that is a word of caution.
Right. Yeah. So I believe that we should all be kind to ourselves and serve our nation. We'll continue again.
This is just the first quarter. But I think every quarter I must get you review of the state. Thanks for your time, and God bless you. Continue with the fight, and I hope that God gives you the kind of energy you desire to be forthright with the issues, because in every society you need people who have that sacrificial spirit to fight it for, the collective good of the population. Thank you. And God
You're
bless
welcome.
You. Yeah.
Thank you.
Finish your tea, sir. Thanks for being part of the program, like we always do between the hours of 3 and 5 on Saturdays. Always bringing you heartwarming discussions that gives you hope. You listen to the kind of people you desire to listen to all the time. This has been no exception. I hope you enjoyed every bit of the program. Thank you, and keep watching On The Burner. My name is Shalom Yagono.
Africa is becoming more populous and richer. It has experienced unprecedented and uninterrupted economic growth for the past 3 decades. But if African countries are to become economically successful, their governments will have to implement adequate policies which contribute to the expansion of the private sector, job creation, and an increase in the productivity levels. Corruption must be dealt with in Africa. Unemployment, mainly among the youth, is another challenge facing African leaders. These and many more issues that hinders our growth will be discussed on The Burner and provide the why, how, and what to accelerate the continent's dream of economic freedom. Watch On The Burner every Saturday. It's going to be hot, heated, but focused. Africa's future success will depend on stability, sound policies, and solid institutions. Don't miss this.